And a very good afternoon to you, and you're welcome here to Parnell Park for this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. It's round 2 of Group 2, and of course we're still celebrating Pride here today at Parnell Park. My name is Killian Whelan, and over the next 90 minutes or so bringing you the best of the action in what promises to be a serious enough game for both of these sides, because it will determine what's ahead for them in next week's final round. Joining me, and I'm glad to say, is of course a Dublin Camogie great in her own light, of course, and that is of course Emma Flanagan. Emma, thanks for joining us here in Parnell Park.
No problem, it's good to be here.
Emma, it is a big game, as I just mentioned, for both. We saw what happened to Kilkenny against Wexford. You know, it was a draw, but it probably felt like a loss to them. And Dublin, of course, you know, bit of a smartening result a little bit against Tipperary. They probably would see this might be a game they might try and get something out of now, considering the performance of Kilkenny the last day. Yeah,
look, it's a huge game for both of them after the last round. Kilkenny won't be happy they let a 9-point lead slip, and Dublin won't be happy with that performance either, especially after the Leinster campaign they had. But yeah, obviously, like after the Leinster game, Dublin will bring a lot of confidence to this game. If they can perform that way, look, they could cause an upset here today.
A lot of people talked about the tactic that they used then in the Leinster final, that Dublin did an awful lot of pressing. They were right toe-to-toe with Kilkenny. It took a fortuitous enough goal from Julianne Malone to ultimately win the title for Kilkenny that day. So why change then, it looked like it seemed, when they went into play against Tipperary?
Yeah, unusual. I don't know if they set out to play a different style or if it just happened they didn't work as hard as they did in that Leinster final, but they need to go back to the way they played in that Leinster final today if they want to get anything out of this game.
And yeah, and surely they bring an awful lot of confidence from that they went toe to toe with a, you know, a Kilkenny team that today is 13, I think, of that All-Ireland final winning team. You know, would have had, I think, 12 or 13 as well on that Leinster final day. So, you know, it surely gives a shot in the arm for Dublin, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, there's been many years where Dublin have been well beaten off the pitch by Kilkenny, so to go that close, first of all they'll be disappointed to have lost that match in the end because it's a game they felt they could have won, but it does give the confidence then they know they can go toe to toe with them. So look, it's all up for grabs here today. Now,
you obviously know the Dublin girls quite well under management of Jerry McQuaid. There's been a little bit of flux within Dublin Camogie in probably the last few months or thereabouts, but an awful lot of talented players still there for Dublin.
Look, the team is full of young, talented players. You can see even the age of them. The average age is very young in the team, and they've all played in big games before. A lot of them have played in the Ashburn Cup final and won that this year. So, you know, they have nothing to fear, and yeah, it's a great up and coming team. So, you know,
when you look at Kilkenny though, and the quality that's on their bench, and you know, you could look at the full back line. You can talk with Denise Gall, you can talk about Katie Nolan. You know, they are going to be players that have to be stopped here today.
Yeah, they have huge experience, and especially when it comes to big games like today. So they'll have to set out. Dublin will have to set out to stop a few of them. Like Denise Gall is massive for Kilkenny. She does all the playmaking for them. So her and Grace Walsh is very tight man marker, will hold that back line together. So, you know, it's very important for Dublin to stop some of them players here today.
Well, we'll see how that pans out over the next few minutes. Eamon Cassidy of Derry is our man in the middle. We're just going to head off the pitch here now because it's getting a little bit cramped, as you can imagine, with all the warm-up taking place. And myself and Emma are going to join you over the next couple of minutes with full commentary of this round 2 clash between Dublin and Kilkenny. Stick with us. Okay, so we're in our commentary position getting ready for the action here today. So let's look at the teams. Both of them have changes. And we begin with Dublin that will line out different. Obviously, Ciara Tierney was announced in goals during the week. Eva Mooney had been there, of course, in the game against Tipperary, but there are now 2 changes as well since that team was announced. So the full team will be Ciara Tierney of Nafina will be in goal for Dublin. Abby Ryan of Crumlin will be in the right corner back position. as she's listed at the minute anyway. Coming in for Orla Gray will be Christine Shanahan of Nave Olafs, and coming in for Zoe Couch will be number 19 Aoife Heffernan of Nave Peregrines. Then in the half-back line, it's Claire Gannon of Nave Jude, Eve O'Brien of Nafina, and Hannah O'Dea of Coola. At centre field, it's a very experienced pair of Muireann Kelleher of St Vincent's and St Oliver Plunkett's Owen Ruiz, Gabby Couch. Into the half forward line then, it's Leah Butler of Nave Jude, Elise Jemison Murphy of Nafina will be on the 40, and Aisling Gannon will be outside her wearing the number 12 shirt from Nave Jude. And then it is an experienced enough full forward line as well. They were the scorers the last day against Tipperary: Grace O'Shea of Ballantyre St John's, Aisling O'Neill of Castleknock, and of course Aisling Marr will be, I would imagine, the score getter for Dublin here today, will be on free taking duty, I would imagine, as well. She got 1-4 against Tipperary. She will wear the number 15 shirt. For Kilkenny, there is one change, and that comes in the full forward line, and that sees Michaela Keneally come in wearing number 17 for Jenny Clifford of Dixborough. But the full team then is as follows: Aoife Norris of Piltown will be in goal, Michelle Tehan of James Stephens, Grace Walsh of Tullerone, and Tiffany Fitzgerald of Young Ireland's will be the full back line. The half back line of Niamh Deely, Claire Phelan, and Laura Murphy of James Stephens, Lisdowney and O'Loughlin Gales respectively. At centre field, it's Steffi Fitzgerald of Young Ireland's and Kellyanne Doyle of Piltown. Aoife Prendergast of Dixborough, Denise Gall of Windgap, and Katie Power of Piltown are the half forwards, and the full forward line of Katie Nolan, St Martin's, Julianne Malone and Mullindavat, and now wearing number 17 Michaela Keneally. Also, of course, since that last game against the Wexford, Aoife Prendergast coming into the team. She's facing Aoife Doyle, who was carried off in that game, but thankfully we've heard that Aoife is out here with the team wearing the number 36 shirt. Won't, I think, take much part here today, but she is back, and well, I'm not sure whether it's full fitness, but she is back here today. So we pause for Oran Naveen with both camps coming together in the middle of the field. Of course, don't forget, this is a continuation of the Pride round for the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Oran Naveen here then at Parnell Park, which sees a significant enough breeze from the dressing room here that is here at the grounds at the minute. And the scenario sees itself, of course, with the flags blowing in the wind. So lots of action to get underway here then in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship shortly. So here we go, about to get underway, just waiting for a couple of water personnel to get across the pitch. And Eamon Cassidy throws the ball in, and it's straight away. It's Dublin that are onto it here with Muireann Kelleher. Dublin going to be attacking, of course, the goals to our right-hand side. And eventually, Muireann gets to turn around and knock this ball into the direction of Aisling Gannon. Ball breaks for O'Neill. Aisling O'Neill going to have the first shot in anger. That's a good score. Kilkenny haven't touched the ball yet, and Dublin off to a bit of a flyer.
Yeah, it's a great ball in by Hannah O'Dea, and Ash Gannon did well there to break it down. And a brilliant finish by Aisling O'Neill.
Aisling O'Neill with the opening score here then in the first few seconds of this encounter. All over to the far side now. We're trying to get on it for Kilkenny is Aoife Prendergast. Aoife, of course, into the team in place of Aoife Doyle. The team was, of course, announced last night as this ball is played by Denise Gall out on that right wing, but she looked like she got a lovely sandwich at it, but it's pulled out to the left and wide. So a shot in anger for Kilkenny, but it is registered as a wide here in the opening stage. And it's a quick puck out from Dublin's keeper, Ciara Tierney. Down the wing it goes here now towards Aisling O'Neill. Busy enough player in the opening stages, but straight across to knock the ball out of play and maybe take ball and all and player and everything. Was Kilkenny defence. And looks like Michelle Tehan.
Give a free.
Could have been a free, I thought, yeah, but the officials are happy to give it as a sideline ball. So just waiting for the official to mark it, and it's Aisling O'Neill who got that opening score that's across here. It's coming up on 2 minutes gone here. So Dublin with the opening score. They do have, the breeze has, I don't know whether it's a normal thing around here. You'll be able to tell me, Emma, as we watch the play continue here now. Elise getting inside. She's being held up by a couple of Kilkenny players. Going to have a shot off. The ball ends up in the back of the net, but the referee says that there's a foul committed and it's going to be a free out. The flag is being waved. Is he given that? No, I don't think so.
The steps.
Yeah. So it's gone up on the that's gone up on the scoreboard here. And the flag was waved. Yeah. I thought he was given a free. I thought the whistle blew before the ball went in the net. We'll have to clarify that. But if that's a goal, if it is being awarded, it's a good start for Dublin here. Eamon Cassidy then just articulating that there was a foul committed there on the Kilkenny player. I'm judging by the fact that Aoife Norris took that ball from on the ground.
Yeah, I think he
said it was a free. Yeah,
it was over carrying.
I just think the umpires have to confusing matters by waving the green flag. That's the vibe I got anyway, that she took a free out. So a bit of confusion here though, as Gall sends up to put this between the posts, and she does. Denise Gall, I'd say she's nearly hit them in every ground in the country at this point, and she's well able to score them. Emma, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good score. It seems like they are against the wind, so well taken.
Yeah, thanks Dara clarifying that, but it's still on the scoreboard here, and the umpire waved the green flag. But yeah, I was definite it was a free that Aoife Norris took and not a puck out, as Dublin come on the attack here again, and that ball is put up and over the bar.
It's Grace O'Shea. Brilliant score. Another great ball into them. Looks like Dublin are out in front in this forward line now.
Yeah, well, the scoreboard still has that goal on it, but we're taking it was a free, so 2 points to 1 then in favour of Dublin. And Dublin have turned over that puck out here for Kilkenny. Looking to get in there on it again was Aisling Gannon, but the referee says that there was a pullback there on the arm. And with 4 minutes gone, Dublin playing quite well here in the opening stage. Ball over to this far side then. Trying to get a touch on it there. Julianne Malone got the goal the last day against Wexford. And also got the goal in the Leinster final victory over Dublin. That day it was, of course, 114 to 13 points in a game that Dublin ran close. But it's Kellyanne Doyle getting this ball back to Steffi Fitzgerald. The midfield partnership linking up back to Katie Power, the Piltown player, driving it towards the uprights and up and over the bar, and it's a good score.
Yeah.
And Kilkenny have reacted well from the early stages here from Dublin.
It's a very well worked score. They kept their composure there when they were under pressure from a few Dublin backs. So So 2 points apiece.
As picking up the breaking ball there, Claire Phelan. Knocking it in the direction of goal again. Denise chinking back onto her left side as she got the measure of this one. The umpire's going for the flag. It's up and over the bar. And she missed one from a similar angle early doors, but she's got into a bit of a groove here now, Emma.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant score out on the sideline, even though she was under a fierce amount of pressure there by Eve O'Brien. But brilliant score. Yeah,
so it is clarified here on all scoreboards now that it is 3 points to 2. And just even going back to that, apart from the steps, Emma, it was a good Dublin move. It's just unfortunate, I suppose, that it didn't end up in the goal.
Yeah, it was a brilliant take from Elise from the sideline. Great ball in and brilliant take, and she just took the ball on, but it was just unfortunate. Maybe she took one too many steps there. But a great finish as well.
So it looks like, in fairness to Dublin, not going with the containment model. It would seem that they played against Tipperary. They're definitely putting Kilkenny under pressure and surely bringing that confidence from Nolan Park when they ran them close in the Leinster final. But anyway, Kilkenny are on the attack again. Out in front to knock this ball in is Julianne Malone, but it breaks away, and Ciara Tierney is there to knock it out to the wing. Decent ball out here, trying to get in there and get a break on it. Was Ashley Marr, but it was taken away from her, and also Aoife Heffernan was in there, but Heffernan has been able to get on the break and knock this ball along the ground here to give it to Grace O'Shea. Got a nice score here after 4 minutes. Could she got a second one? She has, and Grace O'Shea is causing a few problems for the Kilkenny rearguard.
Yeah, that's a brilliant score there. Well worked at the pitch again. Aoife Heffernan gave a lovely ball, and Grace O'Shea has the speed. She can take them on every time, so another brilliant score from her.
Yeah, well, that's a good score. 2 of the inside forward line have scored now, and that's their 3 points for Dublin. Kilkenny have 2 from Denise Gall and 1 from Katie Power in the half forward line. It's this ball knocked towards Aoife Prendergast. Thought she got a nudge in the back there, but she gets it back to Katie Nolan. Nolan, who got 6 points against Wexford, is just have been fouled there. And one of Kilkenny's standout players in recent years. She might be a diminutive little character, but she's well able to put herself around him, huh?
Yeah, she sure is. She's speedy, she's a great touch, and like that, even if she's not scoring, she's winning the frees for them, so I have to keep an eye on her.
Water being brought in here. I don't know whether it's legitimate, but Eamon Cassidy is allowing it to happen. It's a quick fire ball over towards Kellyanne Doyle. Has she put the ball over the bar? She has. And that Dublin a little bit of sleep there.
They were caught napping there on that one. They need to be alert when the ball goes dead, so can't be letting them get easy scores like that.
The voice you hear, of course, is Emma Flanagan, Dublin Camogie star. Would have lined out in the quarter final last year. You probably won't like being reminded of it. Emma. It was a fairly chastening defeat that day.
Yeah, and then we want to forget about it, I think.
As Aisling Marr stands over this. A very good scoring record for Dublin and St. Vincent's over dead ball situations. On the 45 then for this. Into the scoreboard end here at Parnell Park. Cuts it up good and high. And it's up and over the bar. Lovely score. And that's all the inside forward line for Dublin. They've now scored in the opening 9 minutes of this game. You're tuned to the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship Group 2 Round 2 encounter between Dublin and Kilkenny. There's a nice puck out here to Claire Phelan. Phelan looking in the direction of Nolan. Nolan definitely got a nudge there, but Eamon Cassidy allowing the play to continue. And just, I think, are coming together. And
that was a heavy hit.
Yeah, Dublin player a little bit blindsided, and I don't think you can fault either of them.
Yeah, I think both of them come off as badly as each other on that.
It was the delayed reaction that just both of them realised what was after happening and then hit the deck. But Dublin had mopped it up well, I have to say. But Denise Gall is up, she's standing anyway, but she's a little bit ginger. And
Muireann Callagher is the Dublin player down.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Muireann alright. I just wasn't sure was it 8 or 6, but Muireann was just turning back, and the knock came then. I don't think Anthony Gall could do. She was just coming at pace as well.
Ran into each other. I'm not sure what the ref is given here.
I'd say if anything, it's going to be a throw ball, yeah. Is it? He's having a good, intense conversation there. Was Leah arguing a case there, wondering, was she?
She was, yeah.
Eamon Cassidy throws this ball in and the score remains at 4 points apiece. A quite entertaining opening to this encounter here at Parnell Park, and it's going to be a free though for Kilkenny and a chance for them to go back in front. And who else is it going to be? Only Denise Gall to stand over this. She thought about taking it quickly. And now for some dissent, is it? Maybe because one of the Dublin players wouldn't move away. He's moved it in that little bit closer. I think really, Emma, you don't need that when you're playing someone like Kilkenny and you're playing the likes of Denise Gall. You don't need to be making it a bit easier for her.
You don't need to be doing that at all. I don't think we'd see her miss from there.
So 10.5 minutes gone. Denise Gall with her 3rd point of the game so far. Short puck out then by Ciara Tierney over to the far wing. Missed though by Christine Shanahan, and she has to fight hard for now to win this ball back. In there trying to dig it out. Looks like Julianne Malone. Ball is with Gall though. She's been hassled and harried by Eva O'Brien. Eve tried to do her best, but the ball is played across here towards Nolan. Lovely take, and she's going to take one look. Fired on its way towards the Church and Donecarney here. It's up and over the bar, and it's a good score by Katie Nolan.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score. Denise Gall didn't even have to look up. She knew where she'd be, and a great touch. Straight over the bar. But
you could see even before Nolan was in position of the ball, she already just took a quick look at the post.
Yeah.
Knew exactly the line then she was in. Good takedown here now. Pull of the jersey there surely on Grace O'Shea, but the ball is played across. Tian and O'Shea having a right battle there at the minute. Over across the field trying to win the ball there. Aisling Gannon kept it in play and did well. Looking to have a shot off. This would be a good score if it goes over. No, tight to that and to the right and wide. Remains 6 points to 4.
It's unlucky there by Aisling Gannon, but another great ball into the forward line. Well, Grace O'Shea is causing a lot of problems in there.
They are getting some change out of that inside line for Kilkenny, so maybe they need to keep doing it. But Claire Phelan, as the second time she's got on this ball, the puck out in the last few minutes, tried to play it forward towards Julianne Malone or Katie Nolan. Nolan doing her best getting in there. And as I said, a diminutive little character, but he's not afraid to put the hand in, or some mightn't put a leg or a hand, or leg or head. And there's Denise Gall returning the favour. Gall to Nolan, it was earlier on. Nolan to Gall for that, and up and over the bar.
Yeah, she found her in space in there. Denise Gall made a great run out and had all the time in the world to pop it over the bar.
Could be running out of space already to keep a track of Denise Gall's scores here. 12.5 minutes gone, and she's got 4 out of Kilkenny's 7, and they've opened a bit of a gap here, and are might be just turning the screw here a little bit, Emma.
Yeah, they just seem to be getting their scores a little bit easier now, and Dublin haven't had as much ball going in as they did in the first 5 or 10 minutes, so need to start getting the ball back in there because they're causing trouble when they do.
Ball knocked long then, and it's going to be taken on there by Aoife Prendergast. Knocked away from her though. I think she just lost control of her own hurl, and the ball is played out here towards Aoife Heffernan, but it's a little bit too much gas. And
just a few loose passes now creeping into the Dublin game.
Yeah, ones that were sticking even just 5 minutes ago. Yeah.
See to settle back
Kellyanne Doyle take this sideline just not too far away from us here where our position is, and she plays across. Nolan trying to get on that break there that came off of Julianne Malone, but back it goes to Kellyanne. Went left, went right, and eventually decided to go left and knock it down into the corner where maybe Aoife Prendergast to get it. Aoife Prendergast, who's in for Aoife Doyle from that Wexford game. Aoife that was carried off in that game hasn't recovered sufficiently, but she is here and tugged out, so any worries that it might be a recurrence of the ACL, well, she's here today anyway, and I did see her moving out there, so just a precaution. But Dublin backs under a bit of pressure there, Emma, and have succumbed to a sideline ball here.
Another ball they should have had cleared. There was another pass on there for Christine, and she ran into a bit of trouble, and now they're under pressure again.
Eamon letting it go though. Christine fell, she probably thought she could have got it free, but allowed the play to continue.
Yeah, probably would have been soft enough if she did win it, but
ball dug out by Dublin though, and it's going to be able to take it on. Nice little pop pass there by Dublin's number 5 Claire Gannon, giving it now to the run of Aoife Heffernan. Aoife coming firing on, went to have a shot. Was she tackled late? No whistle. There wasn't any issue with that there. She probably was just a little bit exposed. And it's knocked down the wing by Grace Walsh. Lovely take there by Dublin though, and they come charging out. Nolan in there trying to make herself busy, but the ball is knocked forward here, and it's Dublin's number 13 Grace O'Shea, but she's robbed of that ball, and Niamh Deely goes back with it. Ball out to the middle. where it's played on there by Steffi Fitzgerald, knocking it in long now. Little touch in the back by Aoife Prendergast, but she gets inside. It's Prendergast now up against Tierney. Back of the net. She got a bit of a slap across the wrist as well for her trouble, but it was a nice little take, but it was a Seamus Darby little nudge in behind. Prendergast got it on the hop, took it inside. Tierney advancing. She found the back of the net and she's down now. But, well, you'd have to say good full forward play there, Emma.
Yeah, Kilkenny, their movement was brilliant there. They managed to isolate her in the full forward line 1-on-1, and she's cute enough. She might have played the hurl of Christine Shanahan and made the space for herself. It's 1-on-1 with the keeper then.
1-on-1 when she got inside then there was a lot of space in there and she took it on well, but as you said, yeah, good cute forward play. Bought herself a little bit of second just to get away then from Christine Shanahan. And there wasn't a whole lot Ciara Tierney could do then.
No. And
just in the last 7-8 minutes, really Kilkenny have turned the screw here.
Yeah, the game has just flipped. I don't know, Dublin just not working as hard as they were, or things are just not, their touch is not going to hand as it was in the first 5 minutes. So,
well, to me, a lot of the issue has been since maybe Dublin have started to play a little bit of short puck out. Some of the problems have been here. When they're down here at the other 45, they have caused problems.
Yeah, and look, Ciara Tierney has brilliant puck out on her. She can get it over that half forward line. So, nearly like to see her use that a bit more and get into the danger area.
Well, I would be thinking the breeze seems to be, even though it is swirling here a little bit, because I was going to ask you, the gap here between the terrace and the dressing room, there seems to be the wind is going across the field, but then it's heading this.
Yeah, I think Dublin do have it. So
but maybe she should be hitting them longer.
I would think so. Because that's where we want Aisling O'Neill and Grace O'Shea getting the ball down here. And
well, in the first 9 minutes, they were all on the scoreboard and they haven't really touched the ball since,
Yeah.
Short puck out anyway, again it's gone and it's lost out of control there again by Christine Shanahan and it's out over the line, and Dublin have caused some of the problems themselves here, down towards Katie Nolan, tracked by two Dublin players, and you'd have to say good cover there by Abby Ryan. I think got across and knocked it out of Nolan, and it's out for a sideline cut, and
very good defending there, but again they're causing themselves all sorts of trouble down there.
Good cut though by Abby Ryan. Down the corner it goes. Aisling Marr coming a long way out now to try and instigate something. Being tracked there by Tiffany Fitzgerald. Tiffany, of course, and her brother, her sister Steffi, part of this Kilkenny setup. Dublin, of course, plenty of family members as well with the Couches and Gannons and others, I'm sure. Gorgeous day here in Parnell Park, probably better than even we expected. We're in the shade and we're glad to be in it, Emma.
Yeah, we sure are. I don't know how they're out there running around, to be honest.
So 18 minutes gone, 1-7-4, and Kilkenny, don't forget it was 4 points apiece at one stage. And the Cats have just stepped on the gas a little bit. Ball knocked long by Tierney, falls on the edge of the square. Kilkenny are the ones that are more alert. And eventually it's out by defence, left behind by Katie Power. Chance here for O'Neill. Ball breaks though, and it's a chance to charge out now by Walsh. Flicks the ball up along the line here. Katie Nolan again, another red helmet in to spot it. Flights the ball across. Paul loves it. It's coming right in just on the trajectory, but she's been met there by Eve O'Brien. Knocks it back to herself. This is heading one direction. It's on its way high and handsome, but it looks like it's gone to the right and wide. And that's a bit of a let-off for Dublin because she had loads of time there.
Yeah, again, they're just finding her in lots of space there, and Eve O'Brien is trying to hold her outside, but she's not getting much support.
Ball knocked long. Gets away from Aisling Marr, but it might work out there for Gannon. All the Aislings, of course, in the Dublin forward line. I think if you shout the name Aisling, you'll get one of them anyway, as the ball is taken out of the gap there by Gannon, was it? And ball is blocked down. It's with Kellyanne Doyle now in the middle. Throws it back. It's going to be sent forward by Laura Murphy. Of course, a back six that have played so much together were, of course, part of that All-Ireland winning team last year. As this ball is thrown out here to Julianne Malone. Got the goal in the Leinster final. Got the goal against Wexford the last day. Ball across the middle, but it's well read by Abby Ryan, and she's able to send it left-sided up in the direction of Aisling Gannon. But unfortunately, Aisling had tucked inside, and it's an easy enough clearance now for Kilkenny. They might have made a meal of it, but they haven't. They've turned it back into something with Laura Murphy on it again. Steps inside her player. Laura going to have a drop ball inside. Here's Gall in underneath this again. It's batted down. Nolan has it. Taking it to the top corner. Oh, it's in the back of the net. Katie Nolan, she took one look. She was showing the eyes, I think, to Tierney, thinking of right or left. She went left. Tierney got a hurl on it, but back of the net, and that's a killer, Emma.
Yeah, it's that. Denise Gall and Katie Nolan link up again. Denise Gall batting it down lovely, and Katie Nolan really alert on the break-out ball, and it's only gone one place.
I know there's an age differential between them. It could be 7 or 8 years, but they seem to have telepathy. There's no question about it there.
Yeah,
Katie Nolan and Denise Gall love playing off each other.
Really linking up today anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's now 2-7-4. Mad to think 10 minutes ago it was 4 points apiece. Ball breaks, power, back helping out her defence, out here to Walsh, swings around and on her left side, drives in direction, but asking an awful lot of Gall, maybe to suck in a bit of air there to try and get that, and it's cleared by Eve O'Brien, out to the middle, but it's all of a sudden the ball's going astray for Dublin, as it's knocked long again. Prendergast thinking of getting in there, she got one already, but it's taken by Tierney, and it's a nice ball out here to her centre, to Miriam Kelleher, in fact, dropping back there to clear this ball, but it's Katie Power that's in there to take it away from the Dublin number 11, Elise Jemison Murphy. Ball into the middle now. Kilkenny coming with really the bit between the teeth. Laura Murphy, strong run. We've seen a number of them over the years from her. Ball breaks down. It's a good break from a Dublin point of view. Kelleher in there again, needing to just wrestle back control of this game, knocking the ball long, looking for Gannon looking to get away from the attentions there of Niamh Deely. Deely does growing into the game, helped out there by her fellow defence, and Kilkenny going to clear again. Ball for Dublin, just not sticking now again. Ball into the corner. Prendergast is there. Shanahan is watching it out over the end line. It's gone out for a 45, and just the pressure is everywhere for Dublin at the minute, isn't it?
Even there, she knew she was breathing down her neck and just wanted to get the ball clear. It looks like Kilkenny have a free player back here, so I'm not sure who's gone.
Yeah, and that's a killer then when you knock it down on top of the free players. So you have to make a choice there, one or the other. Commit to 15 on 15, or you're going to use the ball a bit better on the wings, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's the ball in. Needs to be a bit more accurate by Dublin.
So Gall's handing over this 45. She missed the last shot at goal, but what's the chance of her putting this one over? Yeah, it's gone between the posts. 45 for Denise Gall. She has nearly everything now apart from a goal. 2 frees, a 45, 2 points from play. It's the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship Group 2 Round 2 encounter. It's still Pride Round, and the big Pride Parade, of course, in the city today and across the country, as we celebrate the diversity and inclusion here on the field of play. We're looking at some of the finest exponents of the camogie game in the country, as Dublin tried to battle back into this game. As I said to you, it was 4 points apiece literally about 12 minutes ago, and it's now 2-8-4. The inside forward line for Dublin had all gotten the scoreboard. Grace O'Shea was causing all sorts of problems. She had 2 points. Ashley O'Neill got the first score of the game, and then Ashley Marr with a point from a free. But they all came in the opening 9 minutes. Is this a point for Dublin on its way? It is, and up and over the bar.
It's a brilliant score by Ashley Marr. She won I think it was some sort of ruck there, and came out of it and took them all on and over the bar.
Over the bar for Ashley Marr. So 2 for her then, and it just gives the crowd something to cheer about.
Yeah, Dublin needs to do a bit more of that.
Absolutely, as the ball breaks off of Abby Ryan over there, and it's gone out for a sideline for Kilkenny. Ball has spent an awful lot of time over towards the stand side. We're missing out on the action over here a little bit.
Yeah, that seems to be the favourite corner, alright.
24 minutes gone. The voice of Emma Flanagan, Dublin Camogie star, with us here today on our coverage. David and Ger keeping you abreast of everything on the camera duty here. The guys from Entray. But at the moment, Kilkenny firmly in control now. 9-point lead. Don't forget, next Saturday then, it's a super Saturday of camogie action, with games at 3, 4:30 and 6 o'clock. As this ball breaks inside now, Denise Gall looking to keep control of it there. Takes it for a bit of a journey, flies it back. Oh, look who she spot. It's like Batman and Robin here at the minute. Who's stepping into whose shoes here? Katie Nolan? No, it looks like the umpire thought about it and then he gave the nod. It's over the bar. That's a fine score.
Yeah, again, they just seem to know where each other are today. Really well taken score. I think Zoe Couch has come on here.
Free there. Foul committed on Steffi Fitzgerald.
I think Zoe Couch has come on here. Must be for Christine, maybe.
Okay, so Zoe is in, yeah, the number 4 is in. We haven't heard any announcement or anything like that. So, while all that was going on there, we were watching the play. Substitution must have happened, as you said. And looks like there's a bit of a reshuffling going on there. Ball is back and it's played across by Claire Gannon, but asking a lot maybe of her to get there, and the ball is knocked down along the wing, missed though by the Dublin defence. And again, you can't be missing ball there when you have loads of time in goal, even though with 3 or 4 around her. Plays the ball back here to Laura Murphy. Laura is playing so well, she'd fancy a shot at goals, which she tried to step in. The attention's there, Gabby Couch. Back out it goes to Gall. Short backlift on this, knocking it in, but it's going to go out to the left and wide. Quick puck out taken. And for 5 of her scores, Gall is also knocked over. 3 wide attempts as Dublin all a little bit too tight here now. Got to be conscious of Kellyanne Doyle there, but the referee said there was a slap down on the hurl there, and with 4 minutes to the break, Dublin just need to get something else on the board here. Ball played forward by Leah Butler, looking for the run over there on that far side of Grace O'Shea, and also Aisling Gannon. Is a Gannon that's turning foot that over the bar. That's a good score.
It's a really good score. Leah found it brilliantly in the corner, and again, when they get the ball in, when they get a good ball in, they're knocking over the scores, so they just need to get it in there more.
Yeah, that diagonal ball has worked for them in the last couple of occasions. So Norris with the puck out then, looking for Kellyanne Doyle underneath it here. She's been held up in the attentions there, trying to hold her up in her progress as much as possible is Claire Gannon. Gannon fighting as hard there, looking to step inside player. Aisling Maher back for, got a little touch on it to give it to Muireann Kelleher. Kelleher's been shouted at for the ball over on the far side. Going to be a ball that's knocked in. A little bit of pressure from Dublin now. Ball is knocked in the direction though of Aisling Gannon again. This time Aisling had pulled in and the ball went to the wing.
Yeah, I think that's just happening a bit where they're making the opposite run and the ball is going to where they were.
Jamieson Murphy then, tight angle, looking at the shot off, but the Kilkenny player came across there, got a knock on it. It looked like it might have been Claire Phelan though with a chance. 2 Kilkenny players down, just trying to pick themselves up. Ball is knocked long, but it's Hannah O'Dea had it and then lost it, and it's Julianne Malone that's played it down along the wing now. Looking to find Gall. What a lovely bit of play. She gets inside Eve O'Brien. Opportunity maybe to set loose Aoife Prendergast. Prendergast though not going to be getting past Ciara Tierney for a second time, and Tierney knocks it long. Ball in a bit of space for Dublin now, and it's Jamieson Murphy giving it back. Ball is falling out the grass there though of the Dublin defender twice there, and then the throw ball by Hannah O'Dea.
Just dropped her hurl there,
yeah. Just Hannah
just took her eye off the ball and dropped it, and it's just little things.
And they're the little things that were going right in the opening 10 minutes, weren't they, Emma?
Yeah, it's just like they've lost a bit of concentration or something, and maybe it's just the speed of the game is getting to them, I'm not sure.
Well, it's 2-8-6 now, so it's 8-point lead. It's the closest Dublin have been in a while, but it's, as he said, Dublin did lead in this game in the opening 10 and were level at 4 points apiece. And Kilkenny mounted up a bit of a score and pushed out the lead with 2 goals. The goals coming from Aoife Prendergast and Katie Nolan within 5 minutes of each other, before Dublin got 2 fine scores from Aisling Maher and Aisling Gannon. And this now is a free for Denise Gall, standing about 63.5 metres out. About 15 in from that far sideline, where there is the crowd in the sunshine. Gall sending it on its way. And it's got out to the right and wide.
It's a few wides now for Kilkenny. They haven't scored in a few minutes.
Yeah, that is true. That's Denise's second wide now in quick succession. This ball knocked down into the middle, but it's where Katie Power is sitting at the minute. And Dublin got to be a bit clever as that ball is knocked in, and Gall.
She rectified it very quickly, didn't she? Brilliant.
It's nearly like she just reacts in anger after the 45. She was sitting in a pocket, but you can't leave Denise Gall in that space though, no matter where she's on the field.
No, that's the problem. She needs to be marked at all times. And
turn one look and open over the bar makes up, as we said, for the 45 wide, but she's having a phenomenal game so far. 6 points in this first half. She's had 4 wides as well, and she also set up Katie Nolan for, I think, Katie Nolan's a goal in 2. I'd say Gall was definitely involved in the goal in 1 of it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's everywhere. She's popping up everywhere today. She's in full forward. She's out in the midfield.
Well, here's Dublin's Denise Gall lashing Mar. 30 minutes then have elapsed. 2-9 to 6. 3 minutes of additional time. Thanks, Philip. As Ashing knocks that ball up and over the bar.
It's a good score.
Good score, yeah.
Keep them in touch.
Absolutely. But you probably feel in the second half the back of the onion sack has to be found. So 3 minutes of additional time then. Philip McDonald, give me the finger of 3. As this ball played in the direction of Kilkenny's number 17, Michaela Keneally. The referee said there was a foul committed there by either Keneally or Prendergast, and it's going to be a chance for Dublin to get the ball back out of danger area again and maybe get something before the half-time break. A goal would be lovely at this point.
Yeah, it'd be very nice.
Another Dublin change, I think. It looks like Hannah O'Dea has gone off there. And we've already seen Zoe Couch is on. She was down to start, but...
It's Orla Gray coming in, is it?
Zoe must have been wrecking the head of Jerry McQuaid over there to get in, was she?
Yeah, she must have been.
Anyway, ball is not long. Kilkenny look like they've done the needful here to be able to get it away, but they've lost possession, have they? A fight going on there. Katie Power coming in, trying to drive on it. Jemison Murphy was going in, and just as she came out of the gap, Grace O'Shea, referee says, no, I'm going to call it back for a throw ball. So it looks like, I think if we're right, Christine Shanahan and Hannah O'Dea then have been replaced. Just waiting to see the Dublin player that's come in for Hannah O'Dea.
I think Orla Gray came on.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well spotted, Emma. You know all these girls well, of course, as this ball breaks, and Claire Gannon trying to get in there, trying to drive onto it, Dublin. But it's Katie Power. Slaloms her way out of it and somehow gets the pass off. Looking for the ball is Kellyanne Doyle. Now there's an overlap here. Dublin got to be careful. If Gall gets it in her possession, she eventually does. Took a bit of time. Look at Nolan. Nolan standing in acres of room inside, and that's where Gall is going. Nolan trying to get across just a little bit too high. And eventually, is Katie been able to keep it in play?
It was very good tracking by Orla Gray.
Yeah, you'd have to say Orla Gray got across there to cut that off, but somehow Nolan has got it into the hand of Prendergast. Gall is looking for it again, but it's gone back here to Julianne Malone, and eventually knocked over the bar.
Again, very well worked score.
Again, they didn't seem... Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. No panic. And that's 5 of the 6 starting forwards for Kilkenny now on the scoreboard, with Julianne Malone getting that point. And I think it's a Kilkenny player down injured here, just over their 45 at the minute. There's going to be a hold up in play as Eamon Cassidy comes down to check. I think it was all to do with that ruck that had formed there. Is it... Yeah, it's Steffi Fitzgerald. I think she was involved in that original ruck that had formed, and she must be just unsure. Looks like she's going to be able to run it off. Still carrying a little bit of a limp, Steffi, but anyway, she's up and running. 2-10 to 7. I said an entertaining game in the opening quarter, and not saying it hasn't been entertaining since, but Kilkenny definitely have their stamp all over it now. Another short puck up by Dublin, driving it down along the wing here. Now look, they have got return out of this corner here with Grace O'Shea and Aisling Gannon on occasion. Again, a bit of a ruck forming over there, and Eamon Cassidy said, I've seen enough, call a halt, and there is half time then. 2-10 to 7 points. And you know, Emma, it started so well from a Dublin point of view. Come out here, lay down a marker, telling Kilkenny that we're all about action in the game. 4 points apiece. Your inside forward line have all scored in the first 9 minutes, and you're thinking this could be a right encounter, but you know, it's what Kilkenny do in games, isn't it? Score 2 goals in 5 minutes and they take control.
And that's it. They've just taken control of the game, and everything they do is going to hand, and Dublin are struggling to get the ball to hand. So, you know, they're going to have to come out now in the second half and up their work rate and just the concentration levels and get that ball into the inside forward line. But it's going to be a hard task now. It seems like the wind is picking up as well, so...
Yeah, and that's going to be a harder task now, you'd imagine, for those Dublin girls. When you see Denise Gall and what she's done into the breeze in the first half, you know, you imagine with a bit of a breeze behind her what she can do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's going to be phenomenal to stop her. But again, you'd have to feel, Emma, she can't be given the amount of space that Parnell Park she's been given.
No, there needs to be someone tighter on her, like following her everywhere she goes, because she is just finding too much space. Every time she gets the ball, she seems to be in an acre space, so they really need to tighten up on her.
From a Dublin point of view, they have an inside forward line that have caused Kilkenny a few problems. They just need to probably be getting a better quality of ball now in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're just not getting on the ball enough in midfield in that area, and so they can't get ball in because they're hitting it from too far back. So I don't know, they need to maybe work on working it to the midfield and getting it in from there, or just getting their hands on the ball around that area, because there's not enough ball going in.
Yeah, definitely the ball needs to be that little bit better from a Kilkenny point of view. If you're Brian Dowling, you're probably saying more the same.
Yeah, just keep it up, keep going the way you're going, because they're finding the space, they're working the scores very well, they don't panic on the ball, they're working it back out from the end line out to a scoring position, so just keep doing what they're doing.
Keep doing what they're doing. Okay, well, it'll help the scoring difference as well for Kilkenny if they were to get a big win here. Tipperary put 16 points, of course, on Dublin. It's 10-7 here. Kilkenny, of course, playing Tipperary in Nolan Park next Saturday evening at 6 o'clock, and also at the same time Dublin are playing Wexford. They'll wait to see obviously what comes out of the Wexford and Tip game. That's at 4 o'clock, and you can catch that action on the Wexford Camogie YouTube. They're streaming that game today, so loads of action. We'll tell you all about next week, and it's going to be a phenomenal day of Camogie action next Saturday afternoon from 3 o'clock, 4:30 and 6 o'clock games that are taking place, and it will sort I would imagine it'll put the cat amongst the pigeons, but it'll sort everything out with regards to what's going to happen with the quarterfinals in the coming week then in Croke Park. So at half time here at Parnell Park, it is Kilkenny very much in control. They lead here Dublin by 7 points. Rejoin us shortly. Andrew, welcome back here to Parnell Park. 2-10-7. Eamon Cassidy from Derry, the man in the middle, just about to get things underway for this second half. And just waiting on backroom personnel to get across the pitch here. Gorgeous day in Parnell Park. Myself and them are glad to be in the shade. It is quite warm out there, but a nice breeze coming down the pitch as well, probably keeping the players cool. But I see an awful lot of people. I tell you how intense the sun is. An awful lot of people, as you can see across the far, are sitting in the back of the stand. So, give you an idea of it. As Dublin get on this break anyway, straight away, and it's Leah Butler. But she's surrounded by 3 black and amber. And they're in to snaffle that ball away. And looks like a heavy challenge coming in there. Dublin look like they've made a change there at half time.
Yeah, Jodie Couch looks like she's on. I'm not sure who's come off.
Oh, it's a catch inside and it's goal. Thinking about the goal again. She's stepping away, holding it up. Referee is given a free. Well, if he's given a free, it's going to be a penalty. Unless he says it was outside. Denise is not overly happy because I think she felt she was away.
Yeah, I think she was in there if you let the advantage go.
Oh, it's only a 20-metre free as well. He obviously felt the foul was further out. I'm not sure about that. But anyway. Dublin player looks to be very close to that. And goal decides. Right.
She wanted her goal.
Yeah.
It was a bullet of a shot.
Bullet of a shot, top corners. Like, there was 4 players in the way there. There wasn't a whole lot any of them could do about that.
I don't even think they saw it till it was at the back of the net. It's not the start Dublin wanted to this second half.
No, it was probably what we needed to see at the other end, really.
Yeah.
But a goal from that 20-metre free then from Denise Gall. And I have to say, when you see Denise Gall, when she gets a little bit angry, that's the worst time then, really, because she tends to find the back of the onion sack then after something like that. And I think she was just getting a little bit annoyed that the Dublin defenders weren't getting in place, so she decided to hit the back of the net with it. But that's a good response from Aisling. Up and over the bar.
It's just quite a bit out there, so it's a good score.
So Denise Gall now with a goal and 6 points to her name. Aisling Maher with 4. She got 1-4 against Tipperary. Dublin just, to me now, need to go player on player here and try and have a cut off this game. Put a goal in the back of the net and you could ask a few questions, but Kilkenny very much now in control of this at 3-10 to 8 points. Don't forget, coming up, Wexford and Tipperary at 4 o'clock, and you can also watch streaming action of that from Belfield in Enniscorthy.
It's a bit of a high tackle there.
Bit of a high tackle is right by Julianne Malone.
Ash O'Neill seems to be very far back this half.
Yeah.
Playing in the defence.
There's the yellow card for Julianne Malone for that high challenge. Says the referee. So Ciara Tierney from the Fianna has come all the way out from her goal to knock this as far as she can. And it's a ball in the direction of Couch, but ball breaks away. The Kilkenny defence then, a heavy challenge coming in. The referee looks like he's going to produce a card here for the Dublin player, I would say. And
I would say the Kilkenny girl shouldered into her. Is that how he's...
I'm just trying to see what way he's... Oh, yeah, look at the way he's maybe trying to Katie Power. Yeah, well, that's fair call. It looks like the Kilkenny player might be the one that's getting the yellow card here then. He says by the look of his elbow there that it was quite high. So two yellow cards here coming quickly for Kilkenny. And it looks like it's Michelle Teen is the latest in the book. Kilkenny never afraid to play too far off the edge.
No.
So Aisling Maher with a chance to get 2 in quick succession. And she splits the post with that, make it her 5th point of the game. 4 from dead ball opportunities. And Dublin just won off double figures here now. 3-10 to 9 points. But it is a 10-point lead for Kilkenny. Ball taken on here now by Julianne Malone. Pops it to Laura Murphy. Murphy was quite busy in that first half. Ball pops up there. Claire Gannon trying to get her hands on it, but it's Gabby Couch eventually flicking the ball wide. The referee says that she overplayed it. Crowd not overly happy with Eamon Cassie's decision on that one.
No, they're being confronted by 2 and 3 players every time they get the ball. Dublin, Kilkenny are really working hard to get around them.
But again, I always maintaining that there has to be then a Dublin player free in some guys
to help her out. Yeah.
So Jodie Couch is on for Dublin, just still not sure the player she's replaced. We're just trying to track that, but unfortunately no announcer here to let us know.
Oh no, Murren's there.
As this ball is taken in by Gall. Off the upright it comes, and who's reacting? Katie Nolan gets the ball in her hand, loses it, and it's eventually kicked away there, and the sensible thing to do there at that point, but it's back to Gall, spins right and left, and Power was shouting to her. She comes on at a fierce run, Katie Power, loses possession, ball is dropped to Kellyanne Doyle though, the Piltown players linking up, but it's going out to the right and wide, and you'd have to credit the Dublin defence there, good pressure.
It's good defending, yeah. Abby Ryan kicked it out there to get it out of the danger area, and they didn't. At least they got no score out of it.
So Aisling O'Neill hugging the line here then for that puck out from Tierney, but Tierney goes to the stand side, and underneath it there looks like it's Ashley Marr got a pull of the jersey. She tried to get away there from Zoe Couch, or I should say Tiffany Fitzgerald. But the ball breaks for Kilkenny again. Bit more pressure coming on maybe in the Dublin half forward line on the backs there as the ball breaks. Dublin look like they've got it, and then it's into the hand of Grace O'Shea. Got 2 lovely scores at the opening stage of the game. Knocking this ball long. Batted down though by the Kilkenny defence that's in there. And it's a chance for Claire Phelan to get away, but her jersey, or her hurl I should say, was being pulled. And it's a free out.
Yeah, it's a soft free there to give away when you have them under pressure.
Grace Walsh in there doing the needful as well. She seemed to be the spare player at that moment. Phelan then knocking it long in the direction of Michaela Keneally. Might be wearing 17, but she did start the game in place of Jenny Clifford. Bit of a scrum forming again. Keneally in there. Katie Power trying to get in there. Dublin's number 11. Elise Jemison Murphy in there as well, but Eamon Cassidy says we're going to throw the ball in. As we said, don't forget next Saturday, a busy day of Camogie action. Group 1 games thrown in at 3 o'clock. Group 3 thrown in at 4:30, and then Group 2 at 6 o'clock. And we're going to have a number of those games streamed next week as well, so keep an eye on the Camogie Association social media during the week. At this moment in time, I believe I'm in Nolan Park for local derby between Kilkenny and Tipperary, but Dublin will be playing Wexford at a home venue of Dublin next weekend. There's a good charge and forward there by Aisling O'Neill, and credit O'Neill, she came deep for that ball, slalom through there a little bit, took a fine score. Yeah,
it looks like she seems to be playing more defensively in this half, but maybe to do things like that, she's getting on the ball, she gave it and got a return pass, and it was a brilliant score.
So since the Kilkenny goal, Dublin have got 3 points, so wiping out that Denise Gall free that bulleted to the back of the net. And there's a bit of more fight in Dublin, but they've got to get the ball out of this area where Keneally has picked it up. Nolan rolling off her, charging into Zoe Couch there. Thought it should be a free out, and eventually he gives the free, and Couch punches the air. And it's a moment of time now for Dublin where maybe, Emma, they just need to make a bit of hay here.
Yeah, they're getting stuck in a bit more now. They're getting around them in numbers, and yeah, it looks like maybe the momentum has turned here a little bit.
Hope it's not a serious injury to Katie Power. She was gesticulating to the sideline there for help. She looks like she's up on her hunkers. Well, she's up on her knees. And maybe it was just a winded scenario. Yeah, she's up now, Katie. Maybe just Katie being a wily old fox, killing a bit of Dublin momentum after the last few scores there. So Tierney from the Nafina club knocking this ball Over in the direction, it looks like Aisling Gannon that came that way, but the ball breaks in favour of Grace Walsh, plays it short inside to Niamh Deely. Back to Walsh, now in a bit of trouble. A lot of sky blue and navy around her. Has help though from Phelan. Two that have soldiered many a year with Kilkenny, but the ball is knocked long, and Kilkenny forwards now just a little bit exposed at the minute, and a bit more space for Dublin. Eve O'Brien knocking it across the wing here now towards Marr. Looking to take it into possession. Aisling Marr looking to get inside the attentions of the Kilkenny defenders. Had a shot off, but well tracked there by Julianne Malone. She gets it back though. Player inside if she was to spot it, but the ball is lost forward there, and it's going to be taken away eventually by Grace Walsh, pinging a pass towards Michelle Tehan. Tehan, then here's a shot from Laura Murphy. That attack for Dublin there had a bit of impetus, but look, Murphy went to ground easily, then overplays the ball. And a bit of Dublin pressure coming in here, Emma.
Again, 2 and 3 around her, and they're getting them turnovers again. So, yeah.
Well, this is like the opening 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they've obviously decided, look, we've got to go for this here. They need the win. So,
well, at this point now, if you're losing by 9, might as well lose by 15 or 20 because unless you have a go,
you have to go for it now.
Kayla Keneally is the one that's been called ashore there, and it looks like that number 20, I think it's Asha McCarty is in. Yeah, it is number 20. Asha got a point against Wexford. She's in probably a little bit earlier than maybe expected, but looking maybe just to cause a few more problems when the ball comes up that end of the field. But anyway, it is a Dublin free for Aisling Marr, and she's been flawless in front of the dead ball. Standing about 50 to 52 metres out. Crowd going silent here. Parnell Park at 3:10 to 10. This will give a major lift now, I think, if it goes over. I know it's a long way back, but Marr sends it on its way. It's wide, I think, unfortunately. Commentator's curse.
Yeah, cursor there.
Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage, as I said, of this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship Group 2 Round 2 encounter. Still, of course, part of the Pride round. Wexford and Tip coming up at 4 o'clock if you haven't got your fill of Camogie action today. And that is on the Wexford Camogie YouTube channel. But next weekend promises to be, as we said, a super Saturday of action. Ball gets away from Murray Keller, but she's using some of her soccer ability and everything to get that ball out of trouble. Not a whole lot she could have done. She found the sideline. Time to get a hurley back in the hand, but there is a Dublin player now down suffering at the minute.
It's Eve O'Brien, is it?
She's feeling her neck a little bit. I don't know whether she got a little bit of a knock in that, in her shoulder area. And, the physio down to her there now at the minute. Looks like she's nearly suggesting a bit of whiplash nearly in some way, but 3:10 to 10, and Kilkenny will be on this ball. I hear Brian Dowling over on the far side looking for Kilkenny to pick it up. Eamon Cassidy just keeping an eye on the clock here. We're just gone 3 o'clock in real time, but plenty of action now to still play out. Who's going to have a crack at this? Are we looking at a sideline cut here and 2 points? Gall thought about it. She flights it in because she might have thought that Julianne Malone might have got onto that, but Dublin have dealt with it and a chance to get it clear. Muireann Keller was probably put in a little bit of difficulty there, and maybe
I think she fouled the ball there.
I think it was the hand pass originally.
Yeah. It was well dealt with by Ciara Tierney originally, so it's unfortunate that it's come back to that.
Yeah, I think Claire Gannon in hand passing it back to Muireann might have fouled the ball, and I think Claire could have actually cleared it herself, but anyway, it's a free for Gall and a chance to just maybe take some of the pressure off Kilkenny, if you could call it that. They haven't scored since the goal, which happened 2 minutes into the game of the second half, and she's put that ball over the bar. So Kilkenny's first score in 12 minutes. Just tell you that some of the pressure has come on from Dublin. With that point now from Denise Gall, bringing her tally to a goal and 7 points. We'll be picking a player of the match, and she's definitely in the hunt for it. Aisling Maher over on the far side, remonstrating with the referee and Philip MacDonald that should be a Dublin ball, but Eamon Cassidy has made the decision. It's going to be Kilkenny's. It's actually free, and Aisling Maher was probably, that's why she was demonstrating even so much that what was the free for her. But anyway, numbers back for Dublin to be able to clear, but Ashley McCarty is right onto the ball, and that's the problem. Dublin have been finding Kilkenny's spare player as McCarty controls it well, sends it on its way. One against Wexford, she's got one against Dublin. She again had too much space there,
Yeah,
Emma.
again it was the clearance. Dublin's free player there just gave the ball back straight back to Kilkenny, and she had too much space. It was over the bar.
So just after Dublin getting a little bit back away into this game, they've now conceded 2 scores, I would say cheaply enough. But
Yeah.
Ashley McCarty was just standing on the halfway line, ran into the bit of space and took a very good score for herself. As we wait on a change happening. Just waiting to see. It's a Dublin change, and it looks like Leah Butler is the one that's been called ashore.
Niamh Comerford coming on.
And Niamh Comerford of Kilmacud Crokes is the one that's on. Full of running. She is over on the far side at the minute. Puck out by Tierney. Left behind a little bit by Zoe Couch. Zoe, who picked up a bit of a head injury against Tipperary, but was down to start, didn't start, and came on. As this ball breaks for Aisling O'Neill now. Aisling driving forward. Kilkenny in chase behind her. She steps out to her left hand side. Good block away though there by Steffi Fitzgerald. Ball breaks. Who will get there? Power in. Took a bit of a knock there as she went to get it. Throws the ball back here legally though. As Kilkenny with Steffi Fitzgerald now looking to build on this. Looking to get their own few scores. Ball is inside goal. Oh, she did that very well, getting away from Muireann Keller. Will she use the football skills or she use the hurling skills? She uses the hurling skills. Gets a ball from a tight angle up and over the bar. And Denise Gall is unmarkable.
Yeah, I think she was hoping she might dip that over the keeper's head there, but another score for her.
But again, it's just the way she leaned in on Muireann to be able to buy a bit of space.
Yeah, and it looks like they've changed Muireann onto her, but still, she's proven unmarkable today.
And this is even now with Kilkenny withdrawn. It looks like, they're only playing really with 4 forwards by the looks of things,
Yeah.
They've clouded up the middle now, it seems, on Dublin a bit, as Kellyanne Doyle is called ashore. And
yeah, they're still just finding the pockets of space. They're finding their players in space, so
yeah.
it's the ball in.
Of course, Kellyanne back from an ACL injury that's, I'm sure they're structuring her and minding her as much as possible to keep her in fine form for the rest of the championship. It looks like Jenny Clifford is the one that's come in for her. Tommy Shefflin running out here on the pitch in front of us. Just getting words to Aisling McCarty and getting water to her. A bit of a break in play and a yellow card for another Kilkenny player, I think. And looks like it's Laura Murphy that's picked up that one.
Not sure what that was for.
And it's going to be a free for Aisling Maher, but Eamon Cassidy just telling her to hold up for a minute. He's checking on something. The umpires are inside calling his attention on something, I think. It's a game really hasn't taken fire, Emma, in the second half, has it?
No, not so much. We were hoping that Dublin might come out and get a goal or something early on to reignite the match, but we're still nearly just waiting for it to get going again.
Well, Eamon Cassidy's gone in. Something was called to his attention anyway, and he's decided to go in and have a word with a Dublin player. And it looks like it's young Niamh Comerford that's only in. That's a yellow card for her. Don't know what that's about.
No.
So 10 minutes or thereabouts to go. So Maher over on the far side then. Missed the last one. Knocking this long is going to be short. And the referee said there was a Dublin player in the square. And again, I don't understand that. That ball is hanging for a long time. Not sure what that gesture was by the umpires there. There was no score. I think they thought he was telling them to cross the flags. He actually wasn't. He was saying they were in the square. It was in the square. Maybe the sun is getting to the umpires, I think, a bit too. So Ashing coming short now, come back into her defence to play this. Knocking in the direction of Ashing Gannon. Gannon being tracked there by Grace Walsh. And it falls away from her and out over the line. It's going to be a Kilkenny ball. And that's what we said the whole game. The ball for Dublin, it hasn't been clean. You know, it hasn't stuck often enough.
That's the thing. The ball they're getting in, it's 50-50 a lot of the time to try and win it. And yeah, that's just the difference at the moment.
So Grace Walsh should take this sideline cut. Referee though has spotting something over there. It's a bit stop-start, I have to say. Definitely the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I know substitutions normally do that, but just even some of the decisions that have been made by officials, you'd wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. Is the heat just getting to everyone out there? Slow it down a bit.
Yeah. Aoife Prendergast got the goal that really set Kilkenny underway, won that ball back there, and here come Kilkenny on a bit of a charge now. Julianne Malone being asked by a couple of the Kilkenny mentors that are over here in front of us to deliver that ball on, but the referee said he's going to go back. He was alone advantage, and I think the foul had been originally on Laura Murphy, so it's going to be a long ball that Aoife Prendergast is going to take. Told by Philip MacDonald where to put it over on the far side. So Aoife, as we said, they got the goal after 16 minutes, followed by a goal from Katie Nolan on 20, and that put Kilkenny in control. It was 4 points apiece after 12. Ball knocked long. Nolan's in underneath this. Ball hops away from Tierney. Nolan's in there as well. Ball has fallen back into the direction of one of the Kilkenny forwards. It's on the deck. It's going to be a shot away for Asha McCarty. Hits the upright back into Tierney's hand, and eventually she just finds the end line for a 45. Not a whole lot Tierney knew about that ball coming back off the upright.
No, it was bouncing all over the place in there, and they were lucky it didn't end up in the back of the net, but she did very well to keep it out.
It was going everywhere and anywhere, and Nolan, the ball broke off Tierney initially. Nolan was trying to get in there. There was one or two others. It might have been Steffi Fitzgerald, in fact, that was in looking to hunt around there for an opportunity, and then it came to Asha McCarty. And back off the upright, and credit Tierney, in fairness, she was back up and alert and knocked the ball out, but she had very little option, and out for a 45 that's going to be taken by Denise Gall. Denise then sends this up and over the black spot. That's another free for her. And 53 minutes gone. She's the only scorer for Kilkenny in the second half, and I would say if I'm Brian Dowling, that would be a little bit of a concern for me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and they had a better spread of scorers in the first half, so it will be slightly concerning that they're relying on her so heavily.
In fact, I correct myself, Asha McCarty did get a point as well, yeah. So, but like still, it is a reliance thing.
She's got a large portion of their scores today.
Kilkenny making a change then, and it looks like could it be Claire Phelan? It's coming from the defensive viewpoint. There is a Steffi Fitzgerald. Just trying to see the number on the back of the jersey. Kilkenny have made a change, and it's Steffi Fitzgerald that has been called ashore. Ball with Gall now into a bit of space. She's looking to find Michelle Teahan. Teahan has been everywhere and anywhere in this game, and now she finds herself in a half-forward position, being tracked there by Zoe Couch. Taken away from Katie Nolan there by Teahan as she was just shuffling in there on the back of the ruck. Nolan got a bit of a jolt there, I thought. Back to Katie Power. Jinking and jive by Laura Murphy. Look out. Kilkenny player up along the wing, not being marked up in the corner forward position, but eventually referee says that there was a foul committed and it's a free in.
Yeah, I think Dublin were lucky there that she didn't get the ball out to that free player.
Yeah, just Can't believe there's a Kilkenny player allowed to stand all on her own. And again, that Kilkenny player has been left all on her own on the 45, but you'd expect Gall to be knocking this. That, of course, is Julianne Malone, but Gall has missed that.
Yeah, you think Dublin might be a bit more alert to that because of what happened in the first half. She gave one of them short.
Well, again, Julianne was wandering around inside in the corner, and then she came out and wandered around here on the 45.
Yeah, now I'm picking her up.
And it could have been a pass to her. It's a very charging, strong run by Dublin. And Claire Gannon, I think it might have been, as the ball eventually falls here on the top of the D. Dublin looking to get the grips with it. It's the Dublin number 26, Jodie Couch, of course, that's on since half time. She's trying to get in there, but Kilkenny really have choked up the middle. And that looks like a charge, so there should be a Dublin.
Yeah, it looked like she went straight into her.
And again, there probably wasn't even the need for that.
She could have had the ball gone. Another yellow card.
And that's what I mean about it has been stop-start. You know, there's been a lot of physical altercations, yellow card. It just hasn't got a flow in the second half.
No, hasn't really got going the same way as the first.
Well, like Dublin had a groove there. They had points from Aisling Marr and Aisling O'Neill, in a 4-minute spell. That brought them to 10. Kilkenny had a goal. They didn't score them for the next 12 minutes. And then, through Denise Gall, get 3 in the next 8 minutes. But, it's been really just...
Yeah, there's just been a lot of stoppages, a lot of frees, a lot of stoppages.
I think that was a yellow card given there. So Aisling Marr then with this chance to take Dublin off 10. They've been on 10 now for a little while. In fact, it's all the way back to the 39th minute. We're now on the 57th. So nearly 20 minutes not scoring. Dropped in dangerously. Norris spots it out. Walsh is there to react to it. And it's out to the left-hand side. We're trying to get on it there is Katie Power. Tried to keep it in play, but Philip MacDonald over on that far side said it's out. Brian Dowling remonstrating with him that he didn't think it was, I think. So it looks like another substitution coming in for Kilkenny. Katie Nolan being called ashore. Katie quite enough in the second half, so Dublin be happy maybe they got the grips with her. Dublin, the quality of ball in maybe wasn't the same. But Katie Nolan has 1-2 from this game. We'll be thinking of your player of the match, but I think there's only going to be really one winner of it, if I'm right, Emma. But definitely some good performance of Kilkenny, and one or two Dublin players would be happy enough with what they've contributed as well.
Yeah, look, when they were getting the ball in early, the likes of Grace O'Shea, Aisling O'Neill, Aisling Gannon were all doing very well in there. They just didn't get on enough ball, unfortunately. But yeah, Denise Gall and Katie Nolan were just unstoppable for Kilkenny today.
So it looked like it was foul there on Grace Walsh. And Grace, the last quarter, even though it's been stop-start, the Kilkenny defence have really come into their own, haven't they?
Yeah, no matter what, they weren't letting Dublin get through them there. And every time a Dublin player has a ball, she's got 2 or 3 girls around them. So, yeah, their defence has really stood up today.
I just feel as well, once Dublin got that 3 points, and I know they're still at a 9-point lead, Kilkenny, all of a sudden they just crowded the middle, and that really stifled Dublin after that.
Yeah, it's like they're just managing the game really at that stage, they said. They're crowding it out.
Trying to get forward here are Dublin, but again, just looking there at the run even of young Niamh Comfort, she was surrounded by 3 Kilkenny players, so it was going to be very hard to get any shot off.
That's the thing, I think they might need to start popping it back out to players outside because they're getting swarmed in there.
So the fact though it's been 20 minutes since the last Dublin score doesn't help, does it?
No, it's not. You can't win a match if you're not scoring for 20 minutes.
Aisling Marr decides to go low with it all the way through. I suppose trying to catch the Kilkenny rear guard off the hop as the ball comes back out here to Gabby Couch. Gabby trying to give it to Mar. Probably should have went herself, but Mar has won it back incredibly. Aisling shortens the grip, knocks it towards the post, up and over the bar. Good score. Sure to take any positive from it.
Yeah, that's a well worked score.
But
good reaction from Gabby out as well.
As I said, though, 20 minutes to go without scoring. Aisling Mar getting her 6th point of the game, and she definitely has to get a nod as well towards the player of the match.
Yeah, look, Aisling always stands up in these games. They were over reliant on her for scores, unfortunately.
Ball was knocked towards goal, but it's been well taken away by the Dublin defence. Dublin, of course, facing into a game with Wexford at a home venue next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Wexford coming up against Tipperary, so the result of that might determine what Dublin have to do. If Wexford were to get a win, it's gone from Dublin in some way. So change has just been made. Aisling Mar trying to do an awful lot herself here. Referee just asking for a halt. Denise Gall, I think, just a little bit winded. She's happy to continue. So that sideline cut just here in front of us, probably one of the few times the play has been here right in front of us during the whole game, Emma. And we see Eve O'Brien going to take this sideline cut. Gets a decent cut in it. Touched by Mardo and out over the line. And we cut for Kilkenny that will be taken by Aoife Prendergast. As we said, got that goal when it was 4 points apiece after 10 minutes. She got that goal. And Katie Nolan followed up shortly afterwards. And that really saw Kilkenny take a hold on this. The goal, their third goal came, the first score of the second half, from a free on the 20-metre line for Denise Gall. And Aisling Mar and Aisling O'Neill scores in the second half. Mar now coming forward. Hunting a goal. Got a goal against Tip, but ball has been knocked out. It's gone wide. Mar is in a heap on the ground. But she was being tracked all the way there by two Kilkenny defenders. It was going to be hard for her to get a shot off from that angle, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was a brave run. She knew she had to go for the goal, really, and she knew she'd probably take a few hits along the way as well. So
didn't see a time go up, but we are in additional time. There was a lot of stoppages, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're definitely playing another two.
I'd say there'd be a few.
That's definitely a push in the back of the Dublin player there, going down in that ball. Looked like it was Jodie Couch. All free to be taken by Eve O'Brien. Looking for a bit of a runner out in the middle. Muireann Kelleher is there for her. Also over in this side, Gabby Couch standing all on her own, but she elects to go long. Looking for maybe Niamh Comfort or Aisling Mar. Ball breaks though, and it's Michelle Tehan. Kilkenny picked up a few yellow cards in the second half. As long as they don't get another one, they'll be happy enough. But some of those were for physical and over robust challenges, says according to Emma Cassidy. And one of them was Laura Murphy, but she tried to get that ball clear, but it's blocked down by a couple of Dublin players. Kilkenny quite happy now to withdraw, and Emma Cassidy decides, I've seen enough. Thought it would have been a bit longer, but at this stage, it's done and dusted. The game, unfortunately, he has run out with a bit of road, Emma. It wasn't, as you said, a whole lot to write home about in the second half. But, you know, as you said, Kilkenny managed that very well in the second half.
Yeah, they managed it very well. You see, nothing was getting by them in the defence, and they were coming out with every ball that was going in early, and you know, they just packed out the middle and crowded it all, so Dublin had no space to get in behind.
And it was a case that, you know, Kilkenny got probably what Dublin needed at the start of the second half with the goal, but credit Dublin, you know, a couple of points from Aisling Mar, Aisling O'Neill sandwiched in the middle of that as well. All of a sudden, you know, I think we were looking at 3-10 to 10, and you were saying, you know, a little bit more pressure. We had one or two wides from Dublin that probably shouldn't have happened, and then Kilkenny just all of a sudden squeezed in. Yeah,
that's it, and they just, it's like they said, right, they're not going to score a goal on us, and Dublin just couldn't find a gap to get a goal, and a goal is what they needed, really, to get back into that game, so
yeah, a goal was what was needed, but Kilkenny, you know, that's it as well. There wasn't really a clear scoring opportunity, was there?
No, I don't think they had a clear chance on goal. Maybe one or two maybes, but they defended very well. Player
of the match, I would imagine we called it from maybe a early out. Denise Gall, you know, again, she's been doing it for so long for Kilkenny.
Yeah, she was just popping up everywhere today and taking some amount of scores. She also assisted a huge amount of the scores, and she was inside in the full forward causing trouble, then she was out in midfield causing trouble. So yeah, I don't think there was anybody really to compete against her today.
Having someone like that though, Emma, when you look around, when there's a bit of pressure on or anything like that, when you look at maybe that, credit Dublin defence that they did put pressure on, the other Kilkenny forwards, that Gall just, you'd need to have nearly 3 on her on occasion.
Yeah, she just has that ability to make the space for herself and just kind of nearly knows where the ball is going before it's even been hit, so she's already out in front of her player, so yeah.
Looking at it from a Dublin point of view now, to have a home game against Wexford, what happens with that game will probably be determined by what happens with Wexford in Tipperary at 4 o'clock, and you can catch that game on the Wexford Camogie YouTube. But what would you be saying to the girls now for next week?
Yeah, look, there is still some very promising signs from them at times. It's just they need to piece that together for a whole game. The opening 10 minutes of that match were brilliant, and the way they set up for that was, brilliant, and the work rate and stuff shown in periods, but it's just maybe just piece that together for 60 minutes is what they need to do. And they won't fear Wexford. They beat them there in the first round of the Leinster, so they won't fear them either. So and they have a good record against Wexford in recent years, so it's all play for. They won't want to finish this championship without a win anyway, so.
Yeah, well, look, it could be a royal battle between the two of them, because, you could be in a situation where Wexford need to win that game as well, maybe to get to, a quarter-final, and maybe, Dublin get a result as well. They could be in a quarter-final, so still a lot to play for next Saturday.
Everything to play for, really, so, you have to just give it everything, because it is all still to play for, and if they want to make the next round, they have to show a better performance than what they did today.
Very quickly on Kilkenny, now on to 4 points. Probably guaranteeing themselves at least a quarter-final place anyway as it happens. The scenario would be, Emma, Brian Dowling has to be a little bit concerned about their second half performances, would you think?
Yeah, I wonder, is it a concern that, obviously they were quite, ahead at the break, but obviously the same thing happened to them against Wexford, where they just kind of didn't show the same flair in the second half. So maybe they are a bit worried about that, or maybe they just had the game in control today.
That's it too. Yeah, that's the way we could look at it. We're mere mortals. We don't know what's going on in Brian Dowling's head, but I just think maybe it might be an element of concern, especially as they have, a big game, essentially, depending on what happens with Wexford and Tip, against Tip next Saturday evening, and that's at 6 o'clock in Nolan Park. So just to remind you, next Saturday, a huge day of action. Round 3, Group 1 game getting underway at 3 o'clock. One of those two games will be streamed for you. Then at 4:30, it is Group 3. They will be getting underway then with their final round of action. And again, one of those two games will be streamed. And I definitely know one game that's going to be streamed anyway will be next weekend down in Nolan Park, because I'm on duty for Kilkenny and Tipperary at 6 o'clock in Nolan Park. So Group 2 are at 6 o'clock. So fascinating weekend of action I should say a fascinating evening of action next Saturday with all those games to be played out. And still all the groups as such in the melting pot for the next stages of this championship. Well, my thanks to Emma Flanagan making her debut with us here on it. I hope you enjoyed it, Emma, and we might have you back.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Well, that all depends on you. We'd be quite happy to have you back. We're not but hopefully you enjoyed all the action, folks. Disappointment for Dublin, but Kilkenny, well, they've got maybe the show back on the road here, albeit tentatively in some ways. So thanks indeed for joining us. Thanks to Dave and to Ger for the action on the camera. It's a full-time score here then from Parnell Park in this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. It finishes up Kilkenny 3-14, Dublin 11 points. Good luck to you.